year was 1996, and the North American Air Defense Command, NORAD, was diligently monitoring the skies, providing early warning and defense against potential threats. However, on the fateful morning of January 13, something extraordinary occurred. NORAD detected an unidentified object entering the Earth's atmosphere, approximately 200 miles northeast of Sao Paulo, Brazil. As it descended, the object crashed near the town of Varginha. The Brazilian Army and Air Force swiftly responded, racing to reach the crash site before civilians could discover it. Unfortunately, they arrived too late. The craft lay scattered, and its otherworldly occupants were nowhere to be found. Over the next few days, a series of events unfolded that would forever change the lives of the people in the area, particularly those who survived. Varginha, a bustling city in the southern region of the Brazilian state of Minas Gerais, was known for its agriculture-based economy. Eurica and Aurelina de Freitas owned a farm in the outskirts of the city, focusing on crops such as coffee, corn, and soybeans. It was on their farm that the first encounter occurred. Just before sunrise, Aurelina heard the cows on their property growing increasingly agitated. Peering out the window, she was astonished to see a cigar-shaped object hovering above the pasture. She immediately called her husband, Eurica, and together they observed the strange craft. Resembling a submarine in shape and the size of a school minibus, the object emitted billowing white smoke and seemed to struggle with its maneuvers. After an hour of observation, it vanished over a nearby ridge. Unbeknownst to the de Freitas, on the other side of the ridge, Carlos de Souza was on his way to the airport when a muffled rumbling caught his attention. Stopping his truck, he realized the sound emanated from a cigar-shaped craft roughly 300 feet in the air, rapidly losing altitude. The craft's windows and a long crack running through its middle drew Carlos' focus. Unusual white smoke billowed from the crack, unlike the black smoke associated with fire or engine failure. Determined to investigate further, Carlos followed the craft as it navigated its descent, eventually disappearing after a steep dive. Carlos managed to locate a dirt road leading to the crash site and, upon reaching the crest of a hill, was met with a scene unlike any other. The air carried a pungent stench of ammonia and sulfur, reminiscent of sour, rotten eggs. Carlos covered his nose and ventured closer, finding debris scattered across the area. Among the wreckage, he stumbled upon a lightweight sheath that unfolded and regained its original shape when crumpled. Astonished, Carlos attempted to approach the larger debris, only to be confronted by a military convoy establishing a perimeter. Faced with soldiers brandishing weapons, he reluctantly retreated, leaving the scene. Shaken by the encounter, Carlos sought solace in a nearby cafe, desperately trying to gather his thoughts. Within minutes, two tall, immaculately dressed men approached him. To Carlos' horror, the strangers seemed to possess intimate knowledge of his life, his wife, daughter, and personal details. They demanded his silence, instructing him to forget everything he had witnessed. Overwhelmed with fear, Carlos nodded in compliance as the strangers departed in a black car. Thus began Carlos' 26-year secret, guarded by his terror and the looming threat of those who silenced him. Meanwhile, at the crash site, the Brazilian military swiftly initiated the recovery operation, collecting the wreckage. However, unbeknownst to them, the survivors had already made their way into the town of Varginha. Within hours of the crash, peculiar reports started flooding in from the residents of the area. A college student claimed to have witnessed a creature with dark, oily brown skin crouched in an alleyway near a local park. Described as being between 4 and 5 feet tall, it had 3 long fingers on its small hands, no hair, and no clothing. Just a few blocks away, 3 young women, Lillian, Valkyria, and Katia, were making their way to the same park. They decided to take a shortcut through a vacant lot, only to stumble upon a shocking sight. Nestled in the tall grass, next to a cinder block wall, was a creature unlike anything they had ever seen. Standing at around 4 feet tall, it possessed a large head with 3 bumps or ridges. Its enormous red eyes pierced through them, its skin glistening with an oily sheen. The creature had a frail, slender body, devoid of hair and clothing. Frozen in fear, the girls found themselves unable to move or speak, yet a strange connection formed. They could hear the being's thoughts, feel its fear, pain, and desperate need for help. Terrified, the girls raced back to Katia's house, bursting through the door and recounting their encounter to her mother. They described the creature as a demon, its presence leaving them in a state of sheer terror. Returning to the lot, they found the creature had vanished. However, Katia's mother discovered a peculiar footprint, unlike anything resembling a human. The footprint had 3 long toes, adding to the mystery surrounding the enigmatic beings. News of the encounters quickly spread throughout the town, causing both curiosity and concern among the residents. The sightings intensified, and reports of a creature with an offensive odor of ammonia and sulfur, like that of rotten eggs, added to the growing sense of unease. In response to the escalating situation, military police officers Eric Lopes and Marco Shiraz were dispatched to patrol the area. Suddenly, a small humanoid creature darted across the street, catching Marco's attention. Acting swiftly, he managed to apprehend the creature, subduing it for further examination. Concerned about the condition of the captured creature, Marco and Eric rushed it to the hospital. Unfortunately, the being's health rapidly deteriorated, and it died shortly after arrival. Strangely, Marco began experiencing unusual symptoms himself. His skin felt unnaturally greasy, even though it wasn't, and an overpowering smell of ammonia lingered around him. As the weeks passed, Marco's condition worsened, leading to his admission to the hospital's intensive care unit. Despite exhaustive efforts by medical professionals, Marco's illness remained a mystery. At the age of 23, he succumbed to the unknown ailment, leaving the doctors perplexed. To prevent any further investigation, the authorities deemed an autopsy unnecessary and ordered a closed casket funeral, citing public health concerns. His blood tests revealed the presence of unknown toxic substances, marking the first casualty of the Varginha UFO incident. The aftermath of these extraordinary events saw a concerted effort to conceal the truth. Senior military officials implemented a campaign of secrecy, intimidation, and coercion to ensure that everyone involved maintained silence. Doctors, nurses, and hospital staff were subjected to strict non-disclosure agreements, threatened with imprisonment if they ever spoke about what transpired. While the military's tactics successfully silenced the witnesses and participants, the truth of the Varginha UFO incident could not remain hidden forever. After 25 long years, a soldier intimately involved in the events decided to come forward, driven by a need to reveal the truth to the world. Determined to protect his identity, the soldier became known as Military X. His testimony, captured in the groundbreaking documentary Moment of Contact by filmmaker James Fox, shed new light on the incident. Military X revealed previously undisclosed details that sent shockwaves through the public and reignited the curiosity surrounding the Varginha UFO incident. According to Military X, the military's involvement went beyond mere containment and cover-up. He disclosed that the captured beings were not merely alien creatures, but extraterrestrial visitors from a distant civilization. The crash had occurred during their exploration of Earth, and their presence was not an accidental occurrence. The recovered wreckage contained advanced technology far beyond humanity's understanding. The military, realizing the potential of this extraterrestrial technology, embarked on a clandestine operation to retrieve every trace of the crashed craft. They aimed to harness its power and knowledge for their own purposes. Furthermore, Military X revealed that the captured beings were not hostile invaders, as initially assumed. They were desperate survivors seeking assistance and protection. However, due to the prevailing fear and uncertainty, their intentions were misconstrued, leading to tragic consequences for both sides. Military X's account provided a stark contrast to the official narrative and painted a complex picture of humanity's interaction with extraterrestrial life. The public, hungry for the truth, clamored for more information, demanding a proper investigation into the incident. As news of Military X's revelations spread, public pressure mounted on the Brazilian government to address the Varginha UFO incident. Recognizing the significance of the event and the need for transparency, the government finally relented and authorized an independent inquiry into the incident. The investigation, led by a team of renowned scientists, historians, and experts in the field of ufology, sought to uncover the truth behind the Varginha UFO incident. Their exhaustive efforts included re-examining the collected evidence, conducting interviews with witnesses, and delving into classified military documents. Over the course of several years, the inquiry unearthed a wealth of information, challenging the official narrative and revealing the extent of the government's involvement. The report, published to the world, concluded that the Varginha UFO incident was indeed an encounter with extraterrestrial beings and their advanced technology. The findings of the investigation sent shockwaves through society, prompting a paradigm shift in humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. The existence of intelligent extraterrestrial life was no longer a matter of speculation but a fact to be reckoned with. In the aftermath of the disclosure, the town of Varginha became a hub for ufologists, researchers, and curious individuals from around the globe. Tourism boomed as people flocked to the site of the crash, hoping for a glimpse into the mysteries of the universe. The once quiet town transformed into a center of cosmic exploration and scientific inquiry. The legacy of the Varginha UFO incident extended beyond its impact on ufology and scientific understanding. It ignited a global conversation about the existence of extraterrestrial life, the ethics of secrecy, and the need for transparency in matters of profound significance. The events of that fateful day in January 1996 forever altered the lives of those involved and left an indelible mark on the town of Varginha and the world at large. The Varginha UFO incident served as a catalyst for humanity's collective realization that we are not alone in the universe, and that our future may be far more interconnected and extraordinary than we ever imagined.